In life, you can be either two things. You can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Some of us are our worst enemy. I hate to say that. Some of us are our own worst enemy, and we don't even know that we are our worst enemy. We don't. Some of us love to shame other people and point the finger at other people for our unhappiness, when really it's because of us that we are unhappy, because we create our own reality. But a lot of us don't realize it, or either we do realize it, but we're too prideful to admit to it. We create our own reality. We attract certain people to us that aren't any good in the first place, but we'll still try to see the good in them even when there is none there. Then when they disappoint you, you mad. Oh, you mad then that person is the worst person in the world. Yeah, this is true, but you didn't see that. You refused to acknowledge that when you met this person. You refused to look at the bad side. You only wanted to look at the good side of them. There is a good side and a bad side to everyone, because no one is perfect. What we should do is look at both sides to see which one is more tolerable than the other. You have some people that have a few good qualities, but they have more bad qualities than they do good qualities. You have others who have more good qualities than they do bad qualities. And then some of us have more bad qualities than we do good qualities, but we be in denial about it. Just like I said, sometimes we can be our own worst enemy. It's some of us out there who don't even know how to live with ourselves, let alone live with someone else. But because we don't know how to live with ourselves, we want to go and just grab somebody and get with somebody without fixing what we need to fix on us. We think that getting into a relationship will fix us, but it don't fix us, because if we haven't worked on us, we don't really know ourselves. So how can we learn somebody else? We don't even know ourselves. We don't even love ourselves. So how can you get that love to somebody else? You can't. You can try and you will fail. And that's why you see so many people hopping from relationship to relationship. They're looking for a savior. They're looking for somebody to fix them other than them fixing their own selves. You actually have people out there who think that in a relationship or a friendship, that what they say and everything about what they want supposed to matter, and what the other person wants shouldn't matter. You actually have people out there who feel this way. Then when they run their significant other away, or they run their friends away, and they don't have no friends or no relationship, they wonder why is it that they don't have no relationship with nobody, why they don't have any friends. They'll never admit that it's them. They are the reason why they can't keep a friend, or they are the reason why they can't keep a woman or a man. They'll never admit to that. And when they do touch on the subject, it's always going to be about what the other person did. It's never about what they did to them. They'll never tell you that side of the story. They're going to make it seem like they were innocent the whole freaking time, and the other person was the devil. But if you can read people and you can see through BS, you'll know that whatever they telling you is only the piece of the story. Because if you talk to that person that they're talking about and ask them what happened, they have a whole nother different story about what happened. That's what they mean by it's two sides to every story. And when they tell you their story, you're just getting a piece of their story. You're not getting the other person's story. They'll never tell you, the reason why we broke up is because I accused him or her of this and that, and all of this, and this is why we broke up, or I did this wrong, and I didn't do this right. It'll always be about the other person and what the other person did wrong. They won't tell you about the part where they started arguments with them, and it was always an argument, and the only time things were good was when they was in the bedroom. They'll never tell you about the anger issues they had, and the insecurities they had, and the jealousy that they had towards that person, which destroyed their relationship with that person, or helped destroy the relationship with that person. And for some reason, these men and women who are, jealous and all this other stuff, have all these other problems going on, they be good in the bedroom, but they think because they're good in the bedroom that's the only thing that saves the relationship. But it doesn't. You can be the man or woman that's good in the bedroom. Y'all have a good good sexual chemistry, but on the outside of the bedroom, they be like bad, awful. You know what I'm saying? Just like an awful person. Just like my ex for I'm just using for an example. Okay, he was great in the bedroom. He even gave me money. That didn't change the fact that he would sleep with just about any woman that would open their legs to him. That doesn't change that. You can find a man that'll give you money and be a good good inside of the bedroom, but be bad in other things. And my ex, he just so happened to be bad at being faithful. He was an awful person when it came down to that. Other than that, he was pretty good. He was a good person. We had sex. It was good. He gave me money, but he was a whore. It is what it is, and a man can be a whore. Don't let nobody fool you. A man can be a whore just like a woman can be a whore. But I can't completely blame him for everything, because I allowed him to do it. I could have broke up with him. But because, I got caught up in the fact of having a boyfriend, having somebody that said they loved me, I dealt with it. So I can't blame everything on him. I got to blame myself first for allowing me to get into that position, even though he was older than me. If you're gonna be in a relationship like a grown woman, you need to think like a grown woman. I can't really put it all on him. I gotta take accountability for the fucked up decision I made to lay down with him, knowing that he sleep around with all these different women. If you want to know the truth, I shouldn't have even been in no relationship with him at all. I should have just focused on doing my work, focused on my art. I should have focused on that instead of trying to be with a boyfriend, because I had friends who had boyfriends, and I wanted to fit in and be able to say I had a boyfriend. And that's another thing you should do. You should stay away from people who are toxic and are their own worst enemy, because that'll influence you to be your own worst enemy too. You get what I'm saying? That's where peer pressure comes from. A whole bunch of people doing stuff that ain't right, then they want to pressure you into doing something wrong, or they're unintentionally pressuring you by you seeing some of the stuff that they do, and you want to do what they do to fit in. I wanted to fit in with them, so I got into a toxic relationship. And then I didn't stop there, because while being in their relationship, I became friends with the man I'm with now, and I left out of that relationship and into the relationship that I'm currently in now. I didn't give myself time to heal from that one. I didn't focus on what I should have been focusing on. I was just focusing on not being alone and by myself, but into a relationship, because I didn't love myself. I didn't feel like I was valuable. And the only time I was valuable was when I was in a relationship. So I was my own worst enemy. So that's why I'm talking about this. I'm trying to reach out to a younger girl who's probably thinking like that, thinking that she's nothing unless she's in a relationship because her friends are in a relationship. I'm trying to reach out to that adult woman who may feel the same way, or perhaps that man who feel the same way, because there are men out there who feel this way, even though they're not going to admit to it. Some of them feel this way. People who feel like this are their worst enemy and don't know it. I was my worst enemy and I didn't know it. It caused me to get into a relationship that I wasn't supposed to get into with my ex. And then it also caused me to get into a relationship that I'm in now. The relationship I'm in now is not a bad relationship, but the point is I didn't give myself time to advance on me and learn about me, because I didn't feel like that mattered. The only thing that mattered was whether or not I was valuable to a man. And this is why I can speak on this subject, because for a long time I was my worst enemy and didn't know it. And a lot of us we are our own worst enemy and don't know it. We are the weapon used against ourselves. Now, when it came down to friends, I didn't have many friends. I only had a couple, because even back then I knew that, the more friends you got, the more trouble you have just by having a whole lot of friends. Just like a lot of people think that they the shit because they have all these friends, but what they don't know is there's no really such thing as friends. You have associates. Every now and then, if you have friends, you have very little of them. If you have a clique that you call friends, they're not around you for the right reason. Because my mom always taught me, a friend is somebody you don't see every day. And I've always stuck to that saying. A lot of us are our own enemy when it comes down to friends. We be thinking a group of friends are really our friends, but they're really not our friends. They're bad influences that get us into trouble just by us following in their footsteps. Some of those friends will try to mislead us on purpose just so we can get in trouble. A lot of them pretend to be your friend but are your real enemies. But they cover it up with a smile and a soft voice, trying to act like they're so concerned, but really they're stabbing your ass in the back the whole time. But a person who loves their self can see through bullshit and walk away from it. But a person who don't will stick around and keep these people around them for appearances, to make themselves appear to be cool to everybody else. They don't really care about what's good for them. They care about what looks good to the public. A person who really loves themselves don't give a shit about what the public think. They care about what pleases them and what's good for them. And that's the difference between a person who loves themselves and one who don't. We have to learn to love ourselves before we can love anyone else. And a lot of us don't. We are our own worst enemy, and we don't even know it. We need to change that. I hope this message can be an inspiration to someone who probably needs to hear it. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and share down below, y'all. Peace. I'm out.